Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
The Super Eagles played a 1-1 draw against Benin Republic. That game ended 1-1. Osimhen scoring the second goal to equalize after going down in the first half with a lovely header by Benin defender, and our goalkeeper Nwabali decided not to. I don't know what he decided to do, but that ball passed under his legs and it was 1-0 for them. We equalized at the second half to make it 1-1. Okay, if you look at that game, Nigeria had more of the ball, but Benin Republic created more of the chances. I think if I can remember the kind of chances they missed a whole lot of chances. Before we equalized, we would have gone about 2 or 3 goals down. But luckily for us, they missed their chances and Osimhen scored that goal to make it 1-1.
You know, for me, they say the devil is in the details. If you saw that match yesterday, you can see that our entire defense was in total disarray. From the defensive positioning when defending set pieces, like we saw when they were crossing in for the first goal. Secondly, from awareness of our defenders to movement of opposition players in our 18. Even you look at the positioning of Nwabali for that first goal that was scored, you know, the player was on mark, totally on mark. I think it was number 17 that was just a little bit away from him, and they didn't pick up that run and the header, and that's how we consider the first goal. Then if you look at the claim for penalty that was in our 18 that wasn't given, obviously, because he cleared the ball out. Our back line for the first goal played the player on that went on to play that crossing in. Then in the second attempt they had on our goal, which they didn't score, you can see that how do you allow your back line drive a striker drive straight through the middle of your back line before you react as a defender? I didn't like what I saw in that match because we gave too many lapses that they could have exploited and gotten more goals.
Having a whole 12 goal shot in a hole in a game, I think it's very poor for our defense that they were actually missing their targets. If not, we'll have been actually gone down by 1 or 2 goals down before even we got.
Yes.
So we created little chances in that game too. Okay, if you look at do you think it's the gameplay? Because if you look at the first half, he started with 3 at the back. You know, he started with 3 at the back, but at the second half he made change. He removed the hand, actually removed 1 defender and introduced attackers. So that's why when second half again balanced a little bit. But what do you make of a Guavon? I don't think with the talent we have, we are still playing horrible football. We are not passing well. We are not moving forward well. We are just believing in luck to score goal. What do you make of the Guavon team, the way he set up his team?
For me, I'm not impressed with the tactical setup. We shouldn't, at this stage of this competition, be thinking, are we playing a back 3? Are we playing a back 4? It should be basic. This is our setup. This is our lineup. If you want to experiment with friendly, not with this type of qualifiers. This is not a competition where you come in to experiment. 1. Secondly, I will indict Guavon if you see the way our defenders played in that game. If these guys clearly have not either played together enough or worked together as a unit, or I would say we need to look at the possibility of getting a set piece coach, because the way we defended some of those set pieces was terrible and we need to work on that. These are the kind of errors that you take into a competition and then they cost you silverware in the competition. For me, we should get to a place where we are no longer experimenting with our setup. We know what our setup is. Everybody knows what is expected of them. And then we should get to a point in our play where we can build the ball from the defense to the attack without throwing in long balls into attack.
Trying to find Osimhen all the time. Only trying. You don't even have a game plan. It's like get the ball to the wingers, cross it to Osimhen. Get the ball to the wingers, cross it to Osimhen.
Yes.
And even though it worked, but we cannot be building like this.
How many times is he going to keep bailing us out? It's crazy for me, because if you calculate the amount of time you have with the ball without being in the opposition final third, you have a lot more time on the ball than you have in the opposition final third. And so we should be able to build consistently from the back to the midfield into attack to create chances for us to get the goals. And we are not doing that. We allowed Benin occupy the ball in dangerous areas in our own 18. We moving into their 18 was a problem, because we now rely on the pace of our wingers rather than building the ball forward. We need to work on our gameplay.
Okay, let's see general play, because if you look at it, we have qualified already for the Nations Cup. We have qualified, so we are going to go to Nations Cup next year. But the issue here is the World Cup. The way we are playing is the same way we have been playing, even when we removed Finidi. It's the same kind of games we are playing. We are not playing well. We are not winning games. Imagine taking this particular side of play again to the World Cup qualifier that is starting next year. If we continue like this, we will not actually qualify for the World Cup. We need a coach that actually think about strategies, think about, do you think generally we should give Eguavon time to build, or should you just find a tactical coach that knows what he's doing? Because we are talking about talent. We have the highest export of talent in the whole Africa. Even start looking at it in the whole world, we might be even in top 10 when it comes to players that we export, or play stars that we have in a country in one era. I don't know. So do you think that we need to give Eguavon more time to build, or we should just find a master tactical that can get the best out of these players?
For me, when you come to international football, I will keep saying that we don't have as much time for players to develop in training together, staying together. We usually have these chances when you are going for a World Cup or a AFCON, maybe 1 or 2 months to the competition, you're able to take your players away and go work on them. But we need to find pockets of spaces in the calendar to have training sessions with the team, because if you look at what happened yesterday, it shows poor defensive coordination between our players. So for me, I wouldn't say if we can get a coach that is 10x better than Eguavon, great, bring him on. But if not, let's stick with what we have and let's get these players to work more together, because it's only when you spend more time training together, working together as a unit, that you can have this opportunity to start learning and improving and implementing. I don't think Eguavon has implemented any of his strategy in this team yet. He
has been coaching Nigerian Super Eagles for a while, since Finidi was relieved of his duty, but we cannot think we can see any improvement in the way we play. Sometimes it looks like we are playing good football. Sometimes it's just Guadangwa football. We are just playing anyhow. Look at yesterday's game. Even had more passes, but it was just useless passes everywhere. Yeah. We are just crossing the ball.
No penetration.
Even Benin Republic created a whole lot of chances more than us. Have over 10 shots or 12 shots in a hole in a game. If you go to our YouTube channel and look at the highlights we posted, you will see how kind of chances they missed in that game. I don't think that Eguavon is the right person to take us to the World Cup. If not, we need a tactical coach. We have talent of footballers in Nigeria. We need a coach that can coordinate this player, play a formation that can bring the best out of this player, so we can qualify for the World Cup. And actually, who said we cannot
winning trophies?
Who said that we cannot even win the World Cup? Who said we cannot win the World Cup? So we need Nigeria needs to do well. Eguavon needs to do well. If he's still in charge, let's see where Nigeria will go if they are going to win the Nations Cup and qualify for the World Cup.